Hi, this is Teacher Darian, and today we're going to read The Berenstain Bears and the Messy Room. From the outside, the bear's treehouse, which stood beside a sunny dirt road deep in bear country, looked very neat and well kept. The flower beds sparkled with red, yellow, and blue tulips. The woodwork was freshly painted and in good repair. The grass was cut, and the vegetable patch was properly weeded. Even the bird's nest that perched in one of the treehouse branches was well trimmed. The inside of the bear's treehouse was neat and clean too. The pictures were straight, the piano was dusted, the kitchen was spick and span. Even the basement was neat and clean. And if you think it's easy to keep a treehouse basement neat and clean, well, you have never tried to do it. Yes, the bear's treehouse was a lesson in neatness and cleanness, except for one place. Brother and Sister Bear's room. It was a mess. A dust-catching walled... A dust-catching, wall-to-wall, helter-skelter mess. A half-done jigsaw puzzle gathered dust in one corner of the room. A group of brothers' dinosaur models collected cobwebs in another. Sister stuffed animals were everywhere. As far as the cub's big storage closet, well, just be careful how you open it. It wasn't that brother and sister were naturally messy. They tried to keep their room straight. They made their beds most of the time, and they swept and picked up once in a while. And they swept and picked up once in a while. The trouble was that when cleanup time came, they spent more time arguing than cleaning. How am I supposed to sweep the floor with your dinosaurs all over the floor? They're not toys, they're models. And don't move them, I'm working on a setup. Not only was brother and sister's room a mess, but brother and sister were a mess too, always arguing about cleanup and chores instead of sharing the job and working as a team. What usually happened was that while the cubs argued about whose turn it was to do what, Mama took the broom and did the sweeping herself. And she did the picking up too, and the putting away. Well, the mess just seemed to build and build until one day it was too much. Mama Bear lost her temper. She stormed into the cubs' room with a big box. The first thing we have to do is get rid of all this junk, she said. Junk? Brother and sister said, watching as Mama began to throw things into the box. My teddy isn't junk, said Sister. My bird's nest collection isn't junk, said Brother. The yelling got so loud that it reached Papa, who was in his workshop putting the finishing touches on some chairs. He didn't. The yelling got so loud that it reached Papa, who was in the workshop putting some finishing touches on some chairs. He didn't imagine what was wrong. He hurried up the stairs and looked into the messy and noisy room. He hurried up the stairs and looked into the messy, noisy room. It only took a moment to figure out what was going on. Papa got Mama and the cubs' attention and called for a family meeting. Quiet! Now, the mess has really built up in this room, he said. In fact, it's the worst case of mess that I've ever seen. And it isn't fair, he continued. It isn't fair to your mama and me because we have a lot of other things to take care of. And it isn't fair to you because you really can't have fun or relax in a room that's such a terrible mess. Papa got an idea. A box. Yes, he said. Better yet, a lot of different kinds of boxes. A big toy box for your large toys. I can make one for you in my shop. And some smaller boxes for your collections and models. And how And how about one of those boards with holes and pegs to hang things on? A pegboard, said Papa. Great idea. A pegboard, said Papa. Great idea. All this room needs is a little organization. A little organization and a few rules. Rules about more sweeping, less arguing, and not leaving things around. Papa set to work making a fine big toy box and a large pegboard, while the cubs and Mama sorted out toys, books, games, and puzzles and put them into boxes that fit into the closet. Some of the cubs' things did end up in Mama's big throwaway box, but some of the cubs' things did end up in Mama's big throwaway box, but not Sister's Teddy, of course, and not Brother's bird's nest. It was a very big job cleaning up all that mess, but after a lot of straightening up and putting away, the job was finally finished. Wow, said Brother, that was quite a job, but it was worth it. It looks like a whole new room, said Sister. The cubs were right. And Papa had been right too. It was so much enjoyable. And Papa had been right too. It was so much more enjoyable to live in a neat, clean, well-organized room and much more relaxing. It wasn't as exciting to open the big storage closet now, but it was more practical and more fun. The end.